I've had this Dometic water jug slash jerry can for almost a year, and would I recommend it? Well, I guess you're just going to have to watch this video. When I was looking for a water storage solution that wasn't just a couple of 5 or 10 or 20 litre jerry cans, because I've done that and it's a bit of a pain in the ass, I wanted to find something that was going to be a good size, easy enough to move around, but also had a pump in it, so that way we're not having to use the little dicky taps that are on most jerry cans. So the Dometic water jug, I think it's labelled, and Faucet, American, right? Tap, we would say here, is a really great combo for that ease of use, for a small quantity of water, for things like washing hands, filling water bottles, getting just enough water on your toothbrush at camp, so that way you can brush your teeth. And it's been really great because it is a low volume pump. How much water it pushes out per minute is super low. If you've ever looked up the specs for this, you'll know it's only going to put out about 1 litre per minute, whereas a lot of pumps typically do, like, I think 6 litres, 12 litres and higher, I think. Don't quote me. Yeah, please don't. So 1 litre per minute, and then it also has a cutoff at 1 litre. So I thought that was going to be really safe for having it around kids if they turn it on and forget that it's on. Better get this down so it's a bit easier to see. On the top you've got your filler, so you can fill here. It also has a rubber plug in it. It comes with a couple of other attachments or like tap bits that come in the bag. I've not used them because I wasn't going to use this as a jerry can lying on its side with a traditional tap. You've got the wide mouth opener here with the connector for the tube. Now I think this also is similar to the thing that fits in like a camelback water pack, water like backpack. I don't know of the dimension of that, if that would fit in here. Yeah, there you go. I think that's a fairly universal type thing. And then you've also got a knob here to allow air to get in there, so when you're pumping, it's not going to like pull a vacuum in here, because when that happens, the pump gets under a lot of, I guess, strain, and the water slows right down, and it's just not going to be good for the pump in the long run. Getting the right length of this hose here, it comes with a length, I think it was around about 1/2 metre. Personally, it's not long enough, because if you're like me, you're probably going to want to have this tap, which is magnetic on the bottom, and it does come with some magnetic little stickers. If you ever look up the specs for this, you'll see that it comes with 2. But you'll want to take it off the top, and you'll want to stick it on the table next to where the jerry can is, or stick it somewhere else, not on the top of the jerry can, and the hose just isn't quite long enough. And you get this problem. I know I'm not in the center of the camera here, where when you pull the hose, you're going to start getting you'll get a pinch point on the hose here, and you're going to very quickly have issues with the water running. So what I did, and I'd seen some comments on people using this, is I looked at the spec for the hose, and I actually bought some food grade silicone tube. I can't remember the exact name, it wasn't super expensive. But I bought about 1 metre of that, and I think I added about 10 to 15 centimetres onto the overall length. Now, could that have extra load on the motor? Yeah, over that distance. That's probably not really a major thing. If you had metres and metres of hose coming out of it, the pump might have to work a bit harder than it should, and you might get some decreased battery life. The capacity of this jerry is 10 litres, advertised that it's 10 litres. I did see some comments that you can fit 11 litres in this. The 10 litre line isn't actually all the way to the top of the jerry. However, if you're using the jerry can on its side, like a traditional style jerry can with a traditional little turn tap, then I think you have an issue with the breather on top. So probably just sticking to the 10 litres would be the best thing to do for this. And the idea being is rock up at camp, rock up in a car park, wherever you are, you need some water. So this thing isn't strapped in at the moment, but imagine it's strapped in here. So I pull from the drawers, pull the tap out, chuck the hose in. You can see that there. Tap, magnetic. Down on the step. Oh, can you see that? Oh, yep. Nice. And then for any of you that don't know, it's a double tap on the top. Or is it a single tap? Maybe it's a double tap. Let's see. It's not a single tap. And there it goes. So it's got to charge the line. Obviously it's full of air because it had no water. And there it goes. So this is not strong enough to clean your chassis after going to the beach, or clean skid marks out of your undies, but it's certainly more than enough to wash your hands, fill up a jug, you're gonna make a cup of coffee or something like that. I wonder what that sounds like on the video. I guess I'll find out at the end because I like to just go with the flow. So this has a 1 litre max that it'll disperse before it has a shut off, and that's about 1 minute. I might have to cut the video a bit here. Oh, perfect. So we can start it up again. Double tap. There's a big button on the top. A touch button. And then, is it a double tap to turn it off? I think. Single tap. There you go, even I've forgotten. It's been a little while since I used it. It's pretty beat up, but that's good. It means you're using the stuff. So double tap for on. Single tap for off. When you're washing your hands, I noticed something interesting, which is the little button on top. It's sort of like it's recessed and it slopes. You can tell there it's got a bit of a slope on it. And when you're washing your hands and then you tap the button to turn it off, a little bit of water pools there. And that seems fine, it's sealed, there's no holes. Or is there? On the back, just there, the back of the button where the water would run down is the plug where the USB connector goes in to charge it. Now you wouldn't be charging it while you're using it, but of all the places that plug could be, it's on the downside of where water might run off. And is this meant to be used to wash your hands? Maybe not. But regardless of a product's intended use, people will find another way to use it. In this case, it's probably not unreasonable to wash your hands with this. So I find it interesting that that is on the back there. Probably just moving it over to the side, on this side or the other side, just made it that little bit more free of would have removed a potential failure mode, which is water gets in USB port corrodes, can't charge it. You can't replace the battery in this, it's a sealed thing. I should say you can't replace it without probably breaking it open, which I wouldn't do. Or would I? No, I wouldn't. But aside from, it's a bit of feels like an oversight or an afterthought, or maybe just no thought. But it's not enough to write this off as a product that isn't good. It's certainly not optimal, but it doesn't take away from the functionality of this. Do I foresee a problem with that in the future? Potentially. I might see if I can take a video of me washing my hands and you can see the pooling water on top. Oh wow, that doesn't actually look that bad. But when you've got a few people washing their hands, person number 2. Aha. Person number 3. Yeah, now we're starting to see the problem. Runs down the backside there. Now, should that be enough to write this off? I'll let you decide. It's a bit wet around there. It is a rubber plug. This is one of those things where I realize why I do the videos that I do. I never saw a video of this faucet / tap that looked at the top or the back. So now you guys don't have to find that out yourself. This is a great product though. I rate it. and would I recommend it? To people who don't need to try and run a shower or spray mud off their legs at, when they've gone camping, or salt water off a stand-up paddleboard or a surfboard or something. If you need to do that, this isn't for you. But if you're looking for something that's easy at camp, you can put it in, magnetizes to the top. When you're driving, that magnet's not strong enough, especially on bumpy roads. So you'll need to store it properly. But for the ease of pulling this out, sticking it on the tailgate, and getting some water, 100%. It's amazing. Ooh, there's a shot. Yeah, here's the USB port. I let it dry before I open this up, but you can definitely see, there was some moisture kicking about in there. It's dried pretty much straight away as soon as you open that cap. But it's just something you're gonna have to be mindful of. Again, still doesn't write it off though. This thing is really cool. Yeah, this is the Dometic water jug and faucet / tap. Should you buy it? That's going to be up to you. Would I recommend it? For certain uses, yeah. For certain other uses, no. It is a pricey item, but super, super convenient. Rock and roll. Have a good one.